Welcome to the Corelli radio program. I'm Sid Corelli. This is episode 6, How a Movement Scales. Today we take the next step in our journey. If episode 5 showed how renewal begins with the citizen, the individual who chooses to act, then episode 6 asks the next question. How does a movement scale? How does voluntary action, multiplied across the nation, become something larger than any one person, any one community, or any one moment? Because a movement doesn't grow by accident. It grows because the conditions are right, the incentives are aligned, and the people are ready. And right now, America is ready. A movement scales when people feel they have permission to act. Not legal permission, cultural permission. Permission to solve problems without waiting for a program. Permission to innovate without asking for approval. Permission to build something new without fear of being crushed by bureaucracy. In a coercive culture, people hesitate. They wait. They look over their shoulders. But in a voluntary culture, a culture of agency, people step forward. They say, I can do something about this. I don't need to wait for someone else. I am responsible for my community. That shift from waiting to acting is the spark that scales a movement. Top-down systems scale by issuing orders. Bottom-up systems scale by providing tools. Think about the great expansions of American life. The personal computer, the smartphone, the internet, the explosion of small business platforms. None of these forced anyone to act. They simply gave people the tools to act. And when people have tools, real tools, they don't need permission. They build, they create, they organize, they solve. A primal America does not command a movement, it equips one. It protects the space where tools can flourish, where innovation can spread, and where citizens can coordinate voluntarily. That is how a movement scales. Hierarchies are slow. They bottleneck, they centralize, they require approval at every level. Networks are fast. They adapt, they spread ideas horizontally, they allow thousands of people to act simultaneously. A citizen-driven movement grows through networks. Neighborhood networks, parent networks, entrepreneur networks, faith networks, volunteer networks, digital networks. Each node acts independently but aligned by shared values. No one is waiting for central command. No one is waiting for a directive. Everyone is moving in the same direction because the incentives are aligned. That is how voluntary systems outperform coercive ones, not by force, but by alignment. Every successful movement has a single, clear, unifying principle. For us, that principle is simple. No one has the right to initiate force against another person. That's it. That's the prime law. That's the foundation. It's not complicated. It's not ideological. It's not partisan. It's a principle that allows millions of people to coordinate without coercion, because everyone knows the boundary. Everyone knows the rule. And when the boundary is clear, creativity explodes inside it. People don't need to ask, am I allowed to do this? They already know. They simply act. Voluntarily, peacefully, productively. That clarity is what allows a movement to scale. Imagine this, parents in Nevada choosing a new school for their children. A business owner in Ohio hires 2 more employees. A neighborhood in Florida organizes its own safety network. A young person in Texas starts a company with nothing but a laptop and a dream. A community in Colorado solves a local problem without waiting for federal grant. None of these people know each other. None of them coordinated. None of them asked permission. But all of them are part of the same movement. A movement of citizens acting voluntarily, responsibly, and creatively. That is what scaling looks like. Not a march, not a rally, not a slogan. A culture of agency, a culture of responsibility, a culture of freedom. A movement scales when citizens believe they can act, and when the government protects that belief instead of suppressing it. It scales when tools replace orders, when networks replace hierarchies, when principles replace politics, and as scales and people look at their lives, their families, their communities, and say, I can do something about this, and I will. Everything we talk about here, the clarity, the voluntary action, the prime law, comes from a single source. Mark Hamilton, the founder of this philosophy, offers a foundational book completely free. If you want to understand the movement at its root, the link is in the description. And if you want to go deeper after that, I've also included the full training course. Both are there whenever you're ready. In episode 7, we'll explore the next step, how a nation transitions from a coercive model to a voluntary one, peacefully, steadily, and without disruption. Until then, stay steady, stay hopeful, and to stay engaged. We are building something worthy of your time, your energy, and your belief.